good morning. I purchased a 50k eval from my foreign futures last week. I've traded on the account for a week and I have recorded all my trades. This YouTube channel will be used to document my trades. I will be uploading weekly recaps every Sunday or Monday. It really depends on when I finish editing every recap. This trading week, I had a terrible performance. As you can see, I'm down 750 already, 1 week into it. I need $3,000 to pass this account, and I'm down 750 already. Let's get straight into the trades. Coming into Monday, I took one trade, proud of being able to take just one trade and calling it a day. I got a decent 40 tick push on it. Let's dive straight into the trade. As you can see, these coming into Tuesday, it was a break-even day for me. I made $72, basically a break-even. I took 3 trades. Let's dive straight into the trades. First one was a $100 win. I took this one off the London Open, I think around London Open-ish. I knew that this range would play out, but the issue is that this range was extremely small, and I need to target for bigger trades. Obviously, this is a high probability trade. Alright, so $100, that's the freest $100 I'll ever get. But I need to target moves that are bigger than 20 ticks. You can see if I aim to close 20 ticks in profit, I need to be targeting 35 to 40 ticks so that the moment I face rejection, while still not hitting my target, I'm still closing with a decent sized profit that gives me a profit factor of above 2. Now in this trade itself, I see a 5 close against me, or as you guys can see over here, but I still held the trade against my rules because I just knew that this was a short shot at playing out, and that's exactly what happened. I've seen it a million times before, but again, I need to really sit and understand why I still held the 5-minute trade. There's different 5-minute closes against me. Now the second trade was a short at a sell. I see liquidity being grabbed and we close lower. Now the thing is, this wick fill over here on the hourly, we played out, right? We played out. That was like 20 ticks in profit. We played that out perfectly, but we instantly rejected. We grabbed the low and we flipped. This is where I was supposed to get out, alright? But that's okay. I waited for a 5-minute close and I saw it. That price was just driving higher, so I just cut the trade after a 5-minute close against me. I did not want to find out what will happen if I hold it. So lost a valid 140 over that. The third trade I took was a short at a buy. We did grab a lot of the liquidity on the downside, and I placed a buy stop at the flip of this current 30-minute. I'm just showing you guys the 5-minute time frame so it's easier to visualize the trades. We did happen to drive after this. A 5-minute grabbed the highs and closed that way. Normally I should have cut the trade, but I just didn't see any liquidity to the downside that gold needed to grab to go higher, so I just held the trade since the 5-minute was still bullish, right? You see this 5-minute close was still bullish, so I still held that. Yeah, so the liquidity grab that wasn't satisfactory, I'm talking about this section over here, how we didn't grab even this low and then drove higher. That's exactly why I cut it, because we instantly started entering a rejection zone, and I did not want to close the day on a red day. Moving to Wednesday, I took 3 trades, won 1, lost 2. Let's look at how the trades were. So as you can see, we grabbed liquidity from the upside and we started flipping bearish. So I took the trade off the flip of this. Now the issue with this trade was that we hadn't closed below the VWAP. The VWAP is a big confirmation for me, and I love to close below the VWAP and take the trade off of the next candle. Alright. As you can see, a 5-minute closed against me and I didn't cut my trade like the dumbass I am. I'm supposed to follow my rules, but I just broke my rules over here and ended up paying for it with an $80 loss, where I was supposed to be closing in profit. This close up below my entry, I was supposed to close in profit, but here I am not following my rules. Now an ideal entry for this would be this closure over here and a top wick flip and a drive of this. Alright, if you see the 5-minute open like this, and I would have even been tagged in. You see that sell stop I removed? That's the ideal entry. Alright, not this early entry that I took. This was unnecessary. I just need to be more patient with it. Let's look at the second trade. The second trade was another short at selling, but here's the thing, we'd already grabbed liquidity and we are standing at a strong support. I ended up selling straight into support. we buy at support, we don't sell into support, and here I am selling into support because of some liquidity grab that I happened to see in that time, and I really wanted this big fill play out. So I did float in profit for a bit, and as you can expect, I lost that trade. I lost like 185 on this trade. Terrible, terrible trade. Tunnel visioning into my bias. I was married to my bias. Absolutely terrible performance. Moving on to the third trade, I gave the seller another chance. As you can see, gave the seller a chance over here. I did have targets to the downside that I really wanted to hold to, but as you can see, a 5-minute happened to close against me, and yeah, this is where I'm supposed to pull out. Yet I held, and I got rewarded for bad habits. Now, you do get rewarded for bad habits in trading sometimes, and it reinforces your bad habits. That's why 95% of traders are not profitable, including myself. As you can see, I'm back at my entry, even though a 5-minute close against me, I haven't pulled out of the position, and I paid for it dearly. Alright, so I did add position to this, and I was floating $300, right? There was a solid entry later, although I was supposed to pull out my position earlier. Yeah, I paid for it, and I did not even pull my stop loss to break even after I went up 40 or 60 ticks, and I still didn't go break even. I was being greedy at this point, and I paid for it dearly with a $200 loss. That was a terrible trading deal. Moving on to Thursday, I took 3 trades, and all 3 were losses. That's why I called it a black hole day, right? An orbit day for like the Wednesday was. It just means kind of stayed in my plan. Yeah. Thursday's first trade, I saw market structure in the lower time frames that aligned with my buy setup. But what I failed to see was that the higher time frames screamed bearish. The hourly closed bearish with a huge wick, right? You see this pump up. That was a huge wick. Alright, I didn't really show you guys the 1 hour on this. I'll include that in the future videos. But this file closed against me, and here's where I'm supposed to cut my trade. That's a $100 loss. That's what you get for not aligning yourself with the higher time frames. Alright, let's move on to the next trade. The same damn trade. I gave the same buy another opportunity, right? I took a buy, 5 micros in, and a 5 closed against me. This is what I'm supposed to pull out, right? That's how the 5 closed against me, and yet I still stuck, and I lost 150 unnecessarily. Right? Give the same trade a second chance, right? Again, I haven't aligned myself with the higher time frames, and again, I'm not pulling out after 5-minute closes. That was that. And finally, we grabbed liquidity to the downside and we started flipping, right? We took the wick of the hourly and we started flipping. But here's the thing, I was buying straight into support, into resistance, I meant. And I paid for it with a 5-minute close. I pulled out of it. This is okay risk management. Unnecessary losses, right? These 2 losses were absolutely unnecessary, right? 150, 103. But yeah, that was a terrible day. Moving on to the boon of Bane Fridays. I took 7 trades. Right? You guys know how volatile Fridays are. So I saw 7 potential setups. I tunnel visioned. My account was in the red. I was down $300 in the account, and I was losing it. Right? I was losing my mental capital, my cool, my reserve. I overtraded this day, and I paid for it dearly with my account. Aha, $330 loss. It was definitely a black hole game. Let's look at these 7 trades. You guys are gonna. This is entertainment at this point. This is not even documentation. This is terrible trading. I did buy over here. I did buy at resistance. You know what? This trade was absolutely fine. The candle just wicked up, took the highs and started flipping, and I cut the trade instantly, as you guys can see. And my buy essentially flipped to sells because we took a lot of liquidity, and there was crazy resistance in this area, which means it was free to sell down. So I did win. You guys see my previous trade, you guys can see the order over there. Took the highs, flipped, I took the sell. Alright, I saw it play out. I saw it playing out. Right, that's how the 5-minute closed against me. I don't really like how the 5 closed against me, but it still closed bearish, so I still held my trade, and I added position over here at another key level to average out my position to a higher level, and my trade did eventually play out. At this point, I'm supposed to put my stop loss to break even, right? Because we're up like 40 ticks, but my greedy self just held it, and Yeah, actually I did put it out at break even, but as you can see in the start, I pressed buy instead of sell. Look at that. I lost $10 thanks to that. I just edited that out. Moving on to the third trade. You see price rejected over here. This was a crazy rejection zone, and here I am placing a sell stop at straight into the rejection zone. So this is the equivalent of selling at support. Pretty terrible. I do not know why I keep tunnel visioning in so much, but I paid for it dearly. We did have a wick fill and we closed above, yet I wanted to hold it all the way because of from the head and shoulders. It showed a head and shoulders. That was my trading view. And I took this trade out for a small loss, but an unnecessary loss. An unnecessary loss, yes. Can't speak. Now trade number 4. I took this beautiful sell after we got a crazy bump up higher. We grabbed the liquidity and we shifted market structure, and I wanted to sell straight down into resistance. I was up $108, 104. This was my targets, and whenever price goes close to my targets, I don't want to be a tick for a tick. I just like to pull out my entire position when it's even close, a few ticks closer to my target. See, it's close to my target, so I just pull out the entire position right there. It was a lovely trade. Good trading. Good trading. Unlike the other trades I've been taking. Oh man. Oh man. Alright, so this looked good. We grabbed liquidity and we started flipping. But I saw the 5-minute close like that, and yet I still held it, hoping that my trade would play out. But we know what happens when we hope when it comes to trading. The market does not care about you. It does what it does. You just have to stick to your plan. Trade number 6, I sold at the base. So I sold right into support. I don't know what I was expecting over here. And there was definitely no need for 10 micros. I do not know why I held it that way. And look at this 5-minute close against me. Yet I still held this. You see that bullish close when I'm trying to sell? Look at this hold. There was absolutely no need for me to hold through this chop. I could have easily re-entered later, take a small loss, like $30, $40 loss. Yet I lost $430 in this because I just wanted to hold. I was hoping, I was greedy, I was praying. I was hoping and praying. Alright, and the market shows what happens to traders who hope. Now trade number 7, the sell idea that I wanted played out. Now this is the trade that I'm supposed to be taking, not this terrible hold that I had. Now there was a 10 micro hold earlier. This trade number 7 played out perfectly. Took this straight, rejected it off of the support. I pulled on my position there. Now going into the next week, I will be trading in a very controlled manner. I will be cutting my trades immediately. Alright, and because I did not have a visual blocker, right? By that I mean I haven't drawn my support, my key levels. I need to start drawing my key levels before I execute to avoid running into the trading walls. Alright, so and I will be trading less because if I'm losing 500 in trades and I'm losing $250 in commissions, there's all the more reason to trade lesser, and trading lesser keeps you with a good mental capital. It keeps you grounded, and that's how you should be trading. And definitely I am a very pessimistic trader where I keep saying, yo, I just entered. If I sell here, you guys, to anybody else who's watching, let's just place a buy there and you guys will win. It was like that. I get almost every trade wrong, and my thoughts started dipping and moving like a trader who does not win, right? In my head, I'm a profitable trader. I need to think like a profitable trader, and profitable traders do not think in a pessimistic manner. They think in a neutral manner, from a neutral stance. Now, I will align HDF with LTF. Yeah, so even today, right? Today's a Monday. Just finished trading the Asian session. Took a $50 loss, very controlled, but I have seen setups play out where the higher time frame is bearish, but the lower time frame is bullish. The moment you have this confusion and you need to pick between a time frame, just close the charts, man. That's what you're gonna pick. It's not worth it. When the stars align, when we eclipse, that's when we trade. That's it for the week, boys. Sit with it. So see you guys next week.